One of the things that happened after the merge is I've been surprised by a number of things I hadn't expected. Um, One of the things is I was worried, are we going to be the same church? And I've discovered we're not at all the same church, but it's better than I thought. We're a very different church. We intentionally made sure we stopped being any one of the three that we initially were, but we became a new church. We're very different, but we're a better church. There's a new excitement here. We're moving forward. In the past, there were three churches kind of struggling, and at this point now, we're one church moving forward with a lot of things happening. We've got a lot more energy than we did as one church. Another thing that really surprised me is I've made so many new friends. There's something very special about our Christian friends and our friends from church. And I didn't realize how many new friends we'd make. It seems like we're all now one church group and we're one group of friends. So we've made so many new friends and so many amazing people in this church now. It's really very exciting. There's an energy and an excitement here that we didn't have before. It's something you can feel. We have so many programs going on, so many activities, we're serving so much. And you can feel the energy, you can feel the excitement. It's kind of like it's contagious. Once it's gotten started, we've really gotten the ball rolling and a lot of neat things are happening. I've also been very surprised when I say our energy is contagious, other people have seen it. I'm amazed how many guests have heard about what we're doing or have seen what we're doing. More and more guests are coming to our church, which was something we didn't really expect. The better part of that is more of them are staying now and even more are joining, which again, something that we hadn't really thought would be a part of this. But because we're a new church, because we're vibrant and alive, people are seeing that and they're coming and wanting to be a part of it. It's really been a neat thing. It's only been 3 years since the three churches merged, but we don't think of it as new anymore. It doesn't feel like a new thing. Already, much faster than I would have expected, I feel like we're one body. I couldn't have imagined in 3 years that that would happen, but I really do feel that we are one and we're together in Christ. I think what sums it up pretty well for me was we had our 3rd year celebration back in July. And I realized as we had that amazing celebration that morning, I found myself thinking, has it only been 3 years? And when I realized that this feels normal now, it feels natural, it just feels like we've always been together, I thought if it's only been 3 years, I'm so glad I voted to do this. I'm glad our church has decided to, and I'm just really glad we followed where God was leading us. I think He's blessing us greatly from this, and it's been a great experience.
Hi, Aggie. Can you tell us a little bit about what was it like after the churches voted to unify, to come together? What were you feeling? What was it like at First Church?
It was very unsettling because I had gone to the church for 84 years and I didn't know any other congregations or any other churches. And I didn't want to do it. I just was reluctant to go, and it took a lot of searching in my heart before I was settled in my mind that I would do it.
Why did you decide you would come to the Unified Church?
Well, one of the reasons was that it's the same type of service, the one that I'm going to, the kind that I was used to, and the traditional service is what I like.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about how you've been involved in the new church.
Well, the first thing I'm involved was the choir, which is tremendous. It's just wonderful. And at my age, I don't sing soprano, because, in case you've ever heard a soprano my age singing. It's terrible. But I'm still in the choir, and I sing tenor, which is more acceptable. But I love it. I love the choir director, and I just love all the music that we hear every week.
Aggie, what's been the hardest thing about coming together as one church?
I would say it's a little alienating because you don't know a lot of the people, and and I have noticed since when we first started to come in, we all sat in one area of the church, and because that's where we all huddled together, like, because we knew each other, and that was reassuring. And of course, the easiest was that everybody made us feel so welcome, and it seemed like they all remembered our names, but I had a terrible time trying to. And I still don't know everyone's names. I know the faces, and everybody smiles, and we are pretty much acquainted with each other now, even if it's only just our faces. But I'm gradually leaning toward calling this my church now, whereas before it was Grace Church. But now after 3 years, it's been 3 years, I look forward to coming every Sunday. Oh, I always have looked forward to coming to church, but now I feel like this is where I want to be.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Go.
Hi, my husband and I moved to Carlisle, Pennsylvania about a year ago with our, I guess, 6-month-old daughter at the time. So we were church shopping, and we came across Carlisle United Methodist Church, and I thought it was Grace Church still. I had no idea that this church had become, or was 3 churches beforehand. So we went there without knowing that there was any kind of merger. And as we kept going back to the church, because we had a really good impression of it, we heard bits and pieces of the history of it. I guess church had only really been around for 3 years when we went, and I don't know, everyone kind of speaks nostalgically now of their old churches, but I feel like everyone brings what they liked about their old church into this new church, and it's almost like a melting pot of a church, and it just, I don't know, it's really welcoming, it's really family friendly, and I like that we get to be in the beginning of the new church, because I guess after they had agreed to move to the current location, they said in 3 years they'll decide if they'll stay there or if they'll build a new church. So we've kind of been able to be in the process of choosing the location of a new church, and now we get to be in the process of what do you want in your new church, in your building, which has been really exciting because we can contribute to how we want the children's ministry area to go and look like, or different areas to have young adults groups, which we really love to go to. So I don't know, I think it's exciting to be at a church almost in the beginning, because so many churches have been around forever. And I think because this church has merged, or these churches have merged to become this new church, they're attracting more people because it's a new focus. They're focusing on new things. People can't be stuck in they can't be comfortable anymore, because it's almost like everyone's being forced to change. But I think the outcome has been so positive that people are like, okay, let's just keep going. I like where this is going. Because there's a mixture. There's a really good age mixture, which I think you don't find in a lot of churches anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do because it's exciting to be in the church right now, which can't really say a lot. But yeah, so we had no idea that the churches had merged, so we came into it unknowingly. And I think just as an outsider and not having any history with any of the churches really, that it's been cool to watch. And I think it's been a positive experience for a lot of the members of the churches that had merged.
7 years ago, my wife Connie and I volunteered to co-direct the youngest children's choir at Grace Church. At our very first rehearsal, we had only 2 little boys to show up, and the following week one of the 2 didn't show up. So it took us a while to recruit, and we probably got the numbers up to 8 or 9. Meanwhile, Allison had a children's choir about half the size that we had, and there was no children's choir at first. During our first year of unification, we probably had a Sunbeam choir. We named them the Sunbeams, of around 12 or 13 children. Now in our 4th year of unification, we currently have 22 children on our roster, with several other little ones waiting in the wings. We're constantly growing. Just last Tuesday, Mira and I had a meeting, and she mentioned a mother, and the mother went to her lift group that night. Following day, I was in contact with the mother, and Danica will be joining the choir this Thursday. As the planning for the unification started and progressed, I really thought that we would not get young families and children until we were in the new building. And I was absolutely wrong. The Sunbeams sing once a month, and we realized right away almost that the attendance goes up when the Sunbeams or the other children's choir, the Sparks, sings. In fact, right after Easter at a leadership council meeting, Pastor Muir requested, isn't there some way that children could sing on that Sunday after Easter when the Creasters won't be there in attendance? And on this video, Pastor Muir, I want to tell you that will happen. Both groups are going to sing at the 11 o'clock service the Sunday after Easter this year. The growth of the Sunbeams, I think, reflects the growth of young families at our church. The Leadership Council, our two youngest members, have children who sing in our children's choirs, and that's also true of the building committee. We've arranged things now to make it easier for families. Both choirs rehearse on the same evening, and when they sing on Sundays, they sing on different Sundays so the family's not at church all day. My wife Connie is the choir director and organist here at this church, and she really does a fabulous job getting the Sunbeams to sing. They sing on pitch. You can understand their words, and they're absolutely adorable. Every once in a while, I get to sing with the Sunbeams, and I'm like Gladys Knight and the Pips at that moment. So it's all positive. There's no downside, except maybe the fact that we have to buy more and more snacks because we always have snacks at rehearsals, and the choir is constantly growing.